In this video, I'm going to show you the best AAVE liquidity pools and also show you how I'm earning over 90% APR on an AAVE liquidity pool in my personal portfolio. Let's dive right in. So we're going to be using Metrics Finance to identify these opportunities. Under the Discover page, we will be greeted with a list of different liquidity pools, and we can kind of select the network, the exchange that we want to be on. Personally, what I like to do, I like to select Uniswap, QuickSwap, and PancakeSwap when it comes to looking for AAVE liquidity pools. And the reason why is because I know that AAVE is prominent on networks that these exchanges support. So for example, AAVE is on the Ethereum network, obviously. It's also on the Arbitrum network. I believe it's on the Optimism network and the Polygon network. And we're going to factor out Base and some of the other chains for now. But we are going to start to identify different AAVE liquidity pools simply by going down to the little pool section on this little filter icon and just typing in AAVE. And that is literally going to list out all the different AAVE liquidity pools right here. And there's currently 9 different liquidity pools. If I select all these networks and exchanges, you can see there's still only 9 liquidity pools, which means that the ones that we selected are fine. So I'm just going to leave these ones selected for simplicity purposes. I also don't see any PancakeSwap liquidity pools on here, so I'm just going to uncheck that. And just like that, here's our list of opportunities. And by the way, if you guys enjoy me sharing my personal portfolio on the channel, make sure to drop a like and subscribe and notifications turned on. This is something that I usually do in our DeFi Excel community. I share success stories and stuff like that. And I do want to go ahead and share a post from our DeFi Excel community. It's something that Mitch said. He essentially followed our strategy: invest in assets that you believe in and invest those assets in liquidity pools. So he did Ethereum to Tau, Ethereum to USD, Nero to Ethereum. And within the first 48 hours, he was already doing over 200% APR. He already had over $2,000 in profit, with $350 of that being from earnings. And guys, he wasn't getting wrecked by divergence loss because he still had a $260 profit loss compared to somebody that was just holding in the market. So that means that he had a pretty solid profit margin on his earnings. In DeFi Excel, we teach you everything that you need to know about building your DeFi portfolio. For a limited time, we're offering it for $35 per month, which is just over $1 per day if you think about it. So I want to ask you a question, guys. If you're not in DeFi yield generation strategies, are you missing out on over $1 per day? If you are, then you should definitely join DeFi Excel. Let's dive back into the list of different AAVE liquidity pools over here. So off the bat, we have this one on Ethereum network. It's doing about 28% APR right here. We have this other one on the Ethereum network. It's AAVE paired with Uni, and this is doing about a 38% APR. I definitely want to check this one out because I do have a feeling that AAVE and Uni are pretty closely correlated, and they also have a $5 million TVL in this liquidity pool right here. And if we continue to scroll down, we'll be greeted with the list of other liquidity pools like AAVE paired with Polygon token. Polygon token's been starting to pick up steam recently. I've been holding a big bag of Polygon for a while. And then we also have this AAVE to Ethereum down here at a 50% APR. A lot of these are the same pools, so really we just need to open one of each, like AAVE to Uni, AAVE to Pol, AAVE to Ethereum, and then from there we can identify which one's really going to pay us the best return. So the cool thing about AAVE Uni is over the past 30 days they do have a very close correlation of 86%, which is very, very crucial when adjusting your range because that means that you could go with a tighter range. So if I were to choose a range on this one, I'm probably going to do a top of 23.8 and a bottom of, like, let's just say 16. That's going to give you about 62% Uni token, but also I'm expecting Uni to see a little bit of a rip right here considering that's what happened over in this period in time. Now this is showcasing a 46% APR right now, but remember, if we want to get a little bit of a higher APR, we want to get up to that 90% benchmark. Well, number one, we can just drag this min price up a little bit more, something like 16.4. That'll get us to about a 50% APR, but also we need to adjust this volume history. And the reason why is because recently there's been much more trading volume than there has been in the past 30 days. Over here, there's solid volume, yes, but over here, that volume has just picked up steam. So if we adjust this calculation range to, let's just say 4 days, because 4 days of high volume, we're at a 150% APR. So if we hop in right now and we continue with that volume, we're getting 145% APR. Now, I want to be a little bit more realistic. I want to adjust this to something like, say, 7 days, right? 7 days factors in some of those days of low volume and some of those days of high volume, assuming that we average out basically. And that comes to a 90% APR, therefore hitting our benchmark. If we were to go in with $10,000, that goes down to a 92% APR. And if we were to go in with $50,000, that only goes down to a 90% APR because there is a $5 million TVL in this pool roughly. Now, I am currently not in the AAVE to Uni liquidity pool, and that's because I'm not a huge holder of Uni just because of their business model. And don't get me wrong, while I love the Uniswap exchange, I'm just not a huge holder of Uni because I don't think the tokenomics are that good. Diving into the next liquidity pool, we have AAVE to to Paul token over here, basically. Now, this one has a TV of $310,000, so we cannot really scale this one, but this one is doing a pretty solid APR, it seems like. So the first thing I'm going to do is adjust the range. You can see there's this huge spike right up here where essentially AAVE was doing better, but then Paul started doing better, AAVE started doing better, and now Paul started doing better. So we have to keep in mind that there is volatility in this liquidity pool. So I'm going to put my bottom price at 380, and I'm going to bring this down to something like 560, let's just say. That's going to give me about 50-50 on the assets, which is a solid ratio, I would say. These ones have a 70% correlation over the past 30 days, which means that we can go with that tighter range, just not too tight. And then as far as the volume history goes, you can see that volume has picked up. So once again, if we run that same test, 4 days, it's getting us 150% APR. We use 7 days, we're averaging out to roughly 100% APR because we are factoring in low days as well as high days, which kind of finds that middle ground, assuming that we keep on trading at that middle ground. Once again, that one is going to hit our benchmark. Pretty happy with that one. And then of course we have AAVE to Ethereum over here on Polygon on QuickSwap, basically. Now this one has a TVL of $200,000, so we cannot scale this. I would recommend looking at a different AAVE to Ethereum liquidity pool if you are looking to go in with a larger amount of capital on this specific AAVE to Ethereum pool. Look at one on Uniswap or Optimism or Arbitrum or something along those lines. But if we go ahead and adjust this range, because this has 92% correlation, we could go with that tighter range, so probably going to want to do something like 19.2, and then as our bottom price, assuming AAVE is going to do better than Ethereum, or at least we think, we might want to do something like 13.8. That's going to give us about 56% AAVE, about 44% ETH. And when we look at the volume history, this one's actually just consistent, so no adjustments need to be made here. We have high days over here, we have low days, but then recently we have more high days. So I assume like if we were to do 4 days, yes, we're doing it at 120%, but instead of using like a 7-day metric, we're just going to use 30 days to kind of average it out and have a better estimate of the return. This one is doing a solid return at about 80%. So this one does not hit the benchmark, but the other two do, and the other two actually exceed it. So if you did a 33% mix between the three ones that I just showed you, you'd probably average out to around 90% APR. Guys, before we go any further, if you're really looking to dive into the woods of building but also scaling your portfolio with an emphasis on scaling your portfolio, we have a DeFi Legacy program, which we are now welcoming members into. This is essentially our proprietary roadmap, something that we've been constructing for the past few years that we've been personally investing into DeFi, where we help people establish an 80% to 100% APR consistent passive income portfolio, but we also help them scale it to maximize efficiency in their portfolio and minimize risk in their portfolio. As I mentioned, we have a 5-phase roadmap for doing this. It's blueprint, construct, launch, manage, and scale, which means that you are getting deployed week 3 or before that if you're expediting this roadmap. So once again, if you're completely new to the industry and you're not investing in DeFi quite yet, I highly recommend you dive into DeFi Excel. Try it out with a couple $1,000, something that you are okay, just experimenting with and getting experience with in the market. And then when you're ready to ramp up that capital, come to us and apply for our DeFi Legacy program. And if you are ready to ramp up that capital, now's the time to apply because we are taking a limited amount of members this month, but also after this month, we will be raising our prices for the DeFi Legacy program because we have a huge value add that's coming in right now. And of course, for those of you that have stuck to the end, I want to show you the position that I currently have in Ethereum to AAVE. I'm not going to show you the exact network that I'm on, but it is AAVE to Ethereum. And the reason why is because I don't want a bunch of people to just dive in right into the pool that I'm in and diluting the return that I get. And I've also been in this pool since October 24th, so I haven't really shared it since now because I have made some money on it and I am considering exiting soon. But I have 9.8K of deposits, $0 of withdrawals. So off my 9.8K of deposits, I am currently at 12.8K. I haven't done any compounding, right? That is only deposits. And that's because I have $3,000 of just the prices going up. I locked in a solid buy-in price on this position. Timing is not everything in DeFi, but timing can help in DeFi, and this right here shows. Now, during the period that I was in this liquidity pool, I have $587 in earnings, which is pretty solid, right? That's a 99% APR. With that being said, I have a $550 profit versus HODL. So what does that tell you? That tells you, hey, of that $587, $550 is profit, which is a 93% profit margin compared to divergence loss. Guys, if you don't know what divergence loss is, that's essentially a metric that says, hey, if you held in the market, you would have X amount more dollars. And if we take a look at that breakdown right over here, you'll see if I held my initial assets, I'd have 12.8K. Since I'm in the liquidity pool, I have slightly less than 12.8K. That's a $35 difference. My $587 trumps that number right there. If I held 50-50, I'd have 12.8K. Once again, that's a $20 difference. My 580 trumps that number right there because I have those earnings. If I just held all my money in Ethereum, I'd actually actually have a little bit less than the liquidity pool. I'd have 12.6K. When you factor in my earnings as well as the divergence gain in this instance, I have a $770 profit. In AAVE, which was the high performer in this pool, right? If I just held my money in AAVE, I'd have 13K. I only have 12.8K, but since I have the earnings, I'm at a $365 profit compared to that metric. I am outperforming all metrics right here, guys. That's exactly the scaling aspect of DeFi Legacy. We teach you how to outperform those metrics. We teach you our strategies for minimizing risk as well as divergence loss, and we teach you how to maximize the efficiency of your portfolio to ensure that you are maximizing your monthly income of your portfolio. And once again, that is doing a 99% APR. This pool has a 36% return on investment in the time span of just a couple weeks, $3,500 overall profit. Obviously, the bull market that we're currently in, that helps out a lot. But at the same exact time, their earnings here have been solid since day one, because that's what I knew when investing into this, because I was using metrics finance to simulate the results. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, and notifications turned on. Expect a lot more videos now that I'm better from being sick. I'll see you guys in the next one, and peace out.